Hey guys, this is Gatsby with Dave, and today you join me for episode 34 of Solar Civilization, and today we're going to land on Gilly. I left the last episode just before landing on Gilly because, cliffhangers and all that, and because there wasn't time. This has all been sped up to 4 times time accelerate, so you can see how ridiculous that looked when I was flailing around, unable to control my Kerbal, because, I don't know, it's kind of weird how the EVA RCS works. You can't really, translate properly, well, not translate, rotate and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, we'll take this little lander down to the surface of Gilly. Gilly has, very little gravity. It's basically a very large asteroid. So, yeah, it's pretty easy just to kind of do stuff with, although you move very slowly and time warp turns off quite quickly, quite high up relative to the surface. Just so that makes it quite annoying to do this. So I have sped most of this up. I will slow it down when it gets to the surface and stuff, but yeah, it was a little annoying doing some of this, just drifting down to the surface at whatever velocity. What was all that about? I don't know. There was some kind of pausing and nothing really happening there. I'm sorry, I probably should have cut that out, but I've already started talking. Anyway, there was some annoying glitches with my UI. So that I don't have any UI, basically. No idea why. So, luckily, given that I have B9 installed, I have raster prop in my cockpit. So I have so I can have as much detailed data as I want. So I don't even need the normal UI. Screw you, Kerbal Space Program. B9's got my back. But yeah, so basically landing from the cockpit and from sight, because I could probably just let it fall now and everything would be fine, because Gilly has basically no gravity. And I was just playing around with some of these, because I do love raster prop. I think it's nice having all these UIs in here, and I keep meaning to use the docking camera for a docking, but I keep forgetting. But I have a lot of dockings coming up with construction and stuff, so yeah. So as I was messing around with that, I'm plummeting towards the surface, and also I have MechJeb to tell me all the stuff I really need to know. So yeah, screw you, stock Kerbal Space Program, MechJeb's got my back. Anyway, I'm just going to grab a bunch of science from above, low down near Gilly, which I couldn't get last episode because I wouldn't go low enough. But yeah, I can't get the materials bay right now because I only have one and I want that for the surface, so I will come back to get it. And then I decide I don't want to land there, that's a slope, and then I see this nice flat bit of Gilly over here, so I'll just land on that. There's very little gravity on Gilly, as I've said, so it is very difficult maneuvering. It looks like you've done a tiny little jump, and then it turns out you've basically escaped Gilly. I'm using this ant engine, which doesn't give me gives me less delta V than I would if I'd used, I think, the little Rockamax engine. But I don't want that much thrust, or it would be impossible to land. You can land just with RCS, but I decided I wanted to use that little engine, because I never use it for anything. So yeah. Anyway, on the surface of Gilly, it's time to get some science and bounce around, and I really do mean bounce, because it is ridiculous how much you bounce. I put a bunch of ladders on here, didn't need them. Obviously, I just like putting them on there just in case, and if the gravity was so annoying I couldn't get back in here with RCS, then I could use the ladders. So that would be fine. But yeah, the gravity on Gilly is rather annoying. It's not much good for walking around, but I'm thinking maybe good for a kethane base, because, well, because then I need hardly any fuel to get the kethane off the surface, which would be rather efficient. So if ever I put a base near Eve, then I can just use Gilly as my kethane mine. Just grabbing my reports, of course, and I didn't put a flag down. Okay, I'll in a future episode I'll go back and put a flag down. That's awful. I meant to put a flag down. Anyway, I've just got to store these experiments, and then take them and store them and do lots of dumb stuff with them. Oh, I take them and store them so that I can take another crew report, because if you store a crew report, it doesn't register as a report, so you can have as many as you like in the pod. And I'd say it's cheating, but surely that's just like a piece of paper, so you can have as many crew reports as you damn well want. God damn it, Kerbal Space Program. Cheating's got my back. I don't know why I'm getting up on Kerbal Space Program today. Anyway, I need to grab some science, but I have realized that I haven't taken the the data out of the thermometer, so I will need to get my Kerbal out to go and do that. So, yeah, so I'll need to go and do that. This was sent quite a while ago, so I don't have any seismic or gravioli detectors or anything like that. So I will need to come back to all of these planets I've sent stuff to, with more detectors. Maybe I'll just put it on like a big ship that we're using the huge B9 fusion engines or whatever, and just do it like that. And trying to collect the data, but as per usual, it's very annoying with the materials bay, because you have to be right up close to it. And I should have used that ladder, but I was dumb. And I bumped the spacecraft, and it's basically in orbit because it doesn't take much velocity. No, but it does slow down. Friction has stopped it, luckily. So I just need to grab all these reports. I probably could just grab this one from the floor, but I will of course wasted this RCS fuel. Not that I need it. And the nice thing about this, about Gilly, is if your ship for some reason breaks, I don't know how you would break it. I guess if it just fell over, although gravity's so weak, I don't know how you would break your ship. But if you did, or ran out of fuel or something, then you could just use your RCS pack to get back into orbit of Gilly. Although you can do that in a lot of things, like Minmus, Bop, Pol, I imagine Val. Just, yeah, some pretty small moons that you can just do that with. Not quite enough delta V on the moon to get yourself into orbit. I think you have about 600 meters a second is what I was told once in a live stream. I do occasionally live stream. I'd like to do more, but I'm not actually very good at live streaming. I'd like to get better because I always just kind of, I need to pick something less stressful because I always get kind of annoyed and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to do this. And then just kind of hate myself. And I don't get a huge amount of viewers, but that's of course fine because not many people watch KSP on Twitch. And if I put up a video saying I'm going to stream, then obviously not a lot of people are going to see it very quickly because, you know, small channel. But maybe in the future, when I have more subscribers, or just randomly, as I often do, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll live stream. Then I usually put up a video about an hour before or something. And then I'm just like, yeah, I'm live streaming, come watch it. But so yeah, I do have a Twitch account, of course, so you could probably find that. I think it's just Twitch TV/Tape Gaming, so you could just go find that and follow it if you so desire. But obviously, don't feel compelled, forced to. I'm gonna go with that word because my vocabulary is failing me. Anyway, it is time to go back to the Kepler spacecraft. It's called ETV-M01 Kepler, which was given to me by someone watching my videos. They commented, and I was like, that's a nice name. And this is still Space Shuttle Mark 1.1 lander, Space Shuttle Neptune Mark 1.1 lander, because it was brought to this spacecraft by one of my old space shuttles that was very space shuttle-y, not like my newfangled SSDOs, back in the days where it was propelled by solid rocket boosters and liquid fuel engines, the good old days. And the space shuttle was called Neptune. I believe that space shuttle was destroyed. Well, no, I know it was destroyed. Or maybe I just left it at station. No, I'm pretty sure I destroyed it on landing. I destroyed most of them on landing. I have lost a few shuttles in the old days of shuttle. Because what I do is I do it kind of, well, not like NASA, because they didn't always just name them every time they crashed, but I would, every time I crashed one, I'd make it slightly better, improve it so it didn't break, and then rename it. So I went through, I think, Neptune, Liberty, stuff like that. Just cool sounding words. But yeah, so I mean, I think one of them did burn up, actually, kind of Columbia style. Yeah, Columbia being the first space shuttle, but I think Challenger was the first to blow up, and then Columbia burned up shortly later. But anyway, we are back at Kepler, and it's time to dock, as you can see here. The big docking port on here is a bit of overkill, but it had to be kind of an analog with the rest of the docking ports. And it doesn't really matter how much mass you take to Gilly, because, I mean, you could just, like, tap it and it would be in orbit, basically. I do exaggerate, of course, but it's not that far from the mark, actually. Anyway, I'm just going to transmit everything I can back and clean those experiments, because I need to drop down near to Gilly again and grab myself a materials bay report from near Gilly. But yeah, I'll be keeping the rest of that science, because, of course, I can't use it right. Well, I can't send back all of it right now, but I send back crew reports and EVA reports and stuff. So yeah, I think it's time to flip this thing around, almost smashing a solar panel there, and go below. I think it's below 5 kilometers I need to be to get low Gilly science. And I have got most of it, but I will be grabbing the rest of it. I'm a little scared I'm going to hit this ridge, but usually you can see it coming and just burn up. I actually did have that once. Not on a video, but I was flying a spaceship, rather like the one I have here now, actually. And I was really low near Gilly, and I was like, that mountain looks like it's getting really close to me. I must be pretty close to the surface. And I was like, wow, I can't see the sky anymore, because the mountain is there. And I managed to just flip it around and just burn upwards. And it was fine. I managed to just dodge Gilly. I do like that kind of stuff. obviously a small asteroid is fairly easy to land on. Anyway, I have grabbed the report, I do believe, although it is 4 times time acceleration, so it's a dubious. I'm not fully sure. I am sure now, but it's sometimes hard to see. And I'm just making sure I've got all those reports, but I remember getting them, so it's fine. And I'm not going to do this like a normal, I don't know, rendezvous, because I have enough fuel. I didn't even bother refueling this, but I'm just going to burn at the Kepler spacecraft. And something I pretty much never do is burn to move myself faster. Usually I just time warp and things, obviously, but I can't time warp on this. So sometimes so with Gilly, I usually just speed my actual velocity up. And I only got up to about 7 meters per second relative to the target because, well, I never do the kind of normal KSP thing of like going like 200 meters a second to your target, flying past it, doing the same thing, going back. Because I kind of like some realism. I know a lot of my stuff isn't particularly realistic, but I like to think, some of it is. And I'm just not a purist, but in a way I'd call myself a purist, which I wouldn't say detracts from the fun. I mean, I do less dumb Kerbal stuff. I say dumb in an affectionate way. I mean, like, I don't build gigantic launch vehicles and silly looking things, which is, I don't know. Well, I mean, occasionally I do. But yeah, I just like things to look fairly realistic. That's probably why I play Real Solar System so much, which is there's all the mods that you put with KSP to make it all realistic. Although I do have to say that isn't as fun as normal Kerbal, because it is quite limiting. And if I was better at it, I'm sure it would be just as fun, but I do like Kerbal Space Program being smaller. It just makes it easier and nicer, and less punishing. Anyway, we move on to something else. We have some things to do with the with the Duna base. Oh, okay. So yeah, we've got this to launch. So basically, my video kept dropping out then, but it's fine now. Hopefully, it won't do that in render. Anyway, this is the same launch vehicle I used, I think, a couple of episodes ago to bring the core of the Duna orbital base to orbit. Although it has some larger SRBs on it. This is just a slightly heavier lifter. Based on the Space Launch System, of course. The SRBs have parachutes on it, kind of space shuttle style. Space shuttle SRBs would land on parachutes in the ocean and be dragged back to be reused. I'm not sure how much reusability they got out of it. Anyway, I accidentally decoupled my fairings, which is a shame because I'm quite low in the atmosphere. But it's fine, this is a very powerful launch vehicle. A mistake I made with this launch vehicle is I didn't put any batteries or probe control on it. So it will not be part of my reuse test. I think this is a very good candidate for reusable rockets because I can just say the shuttle, the boosters would have landed on parachutes. That's just something we can accept. But I can bring this back very easily because the problem with like two-stage rockets is I have very little time to bring back the first stage, as you've probably seen with my previous rockets. But with something like this, if it all goes to orbit, then I can just take it back. But as you can see, I have no electric charge and no probe control, so this will remain in orbit. Maybe I'll bring it back one day. But yeah, I'd like to make a better reusable rocket, because my current ones aren't amazing, and I don't worry about it too much, because I don't want to spend so much time trying to reuse rockets and never do anything fun. But anyway, we're going to use the engine on these service vehicles to go to the Duna base. This is the next part of the Duna orbital base. When I go to Duna next, 3 ships will leave. The orbital base, which will obviously be like a station with a bunch of life support and ships on it. The land base, which will obviously be landers, keythane stuff, that sort of thing. And then the military thing, probably. I'll find a reason to bring the military thing, because I think it's fun to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, this is basically the habitation, well, the rest of the habitation, most of the life support, and 2 service vehicles, which can serve as landers on Duna. They can serve as return vehicles to Kerbin. They are equipped with heat shields. They can serve as lifeboats. They can be... I'm pretty sure they can go and explore Ike, given enough fuel. So yeah, these are going to be doing... These are basically going to be my workhorses when I'm around Duna, which will hopefully go well. Hopefully I won't... I'm bringing 2 just in case I break one. And because sometimes I'd like to keep one around Duna and bring some back. But I'm probably going to have a better transfer vehicle for bringing crew back. But these can be a crew transfer vehicle. Anyway, this will be docking onto some of the extremities of the Duna orbital base. So I will undock that. And I'm not particularly happy with the shrouding on there. So to get rid of shrouding, you just quick load, quick save and quick load. I don't usually leave quick saves and quick loads in this, but that was just, let's say it was a Kerbal removing the fairings, the engine shroud. However, there are no Kerbals on board because I'm not going to waste my life support until I need to go, which is about 100 days from now, and I don't want to run out of life support. Anyway, I start sending this ship over to the Duna orbital base kit, and then realize something terrible. That well, not something terrible, something slightly annoying. I have something else I must dock to this before I can actually use it. This needs to have one of these life support and habitation modules docked to the front of it because they go in that way. That's how I built it. I just didn't put it that way on launch because that would have been inconvenient. So I moved this ship over, trying to use as little fuel as possible, but of course I can bring another service vehicle up, because when this is attached, this ship will be complete. It has the command pod, its science stuff, its fuel, it'll have all its life support, its habitation, its modules, its RCS store, it'll have everything it needs. It'll just need a little more fuel for these, and a few other things. And I'm going to start, and then I'll be working on the other ships, of course. I don't know what that was. That's a damn right what's going to happen. No, but anyway, I need to go and grab this, this habitation thing. And these also have the solar panels on it, the habitation things. They have large solar panels because I don't need them, but I want them because I love large solar panels. And I haven't used them yet because I've been going fairly slowly with science because I've just been enjoying myself. Because I like to just, take a slow thing. I think when career mode first came out, a lot of people kind of made the mistake of just kind of gunning through all the the tech tree, treating that as the only task, and that's not really like the only KSP series I'm watching right now is Scott Manley's, because he's taken it really slow. Some of the stuff I do is a little bit based on his and that sort of stuff, and I think that's just more fun. Anyway, we must move this into dock onto one of these extremities. One of these docking ports, which is attached to some metal, which is attached to a gear, because this will be used, it'll be articulated. Anyway, I realize I've left the probe on there, so I'll just fly that off into space, and it'll probably come back and hit me in the face. And bit of rhyming. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. Anyway, so yeah, when I've docked these two to the to those panels, they will move down, so this will move down nearer the ship, so there'll be less flex on transfer. I probably should have moved the docking ports before I brought the ships in, as you will see in a bit, because they do move and these are very heavy. And I'm looking at all this debris. I've started to notice when I'm in orbit now, I see debris quite close to me quite a lot, and part of me hopes that it never causes a problem, and another part of me, probably more so, really wants it just to one day just hit one of my ships, just because it would be an awesome spectacle. But yeah, I have left a lot of debris up here. There are countless transfer stages to the moon and Minmus. There's probably quite a lot of top stages, some of the ones I haven't brought back, although I do try to bring back some of my stages. Probably a few upper stages, probably some fairings, some broken bits of spaceship, I imagine a lot of shrouding. So yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff that's trying to hit me all the time. Anyway, as you can see, this ship looks rather ridiculous now. So, actually before we do that, I need to rotate this so that the solar panel is pointing outwards so it's actually effective and won't break against the science laboratory, because that would be no good. Anyway, we'll just dock this with the small amount of RCS I have left, although I have a huge amount of RCS on the station. It has its own propulsion, which is RCS based. Anyway, as I was saying, this looks ridiculous now, so I must move these little bits down nearer the spacecraft, which I will do now with Infernal Robotics. Set it to 0.1 because I don't want it flexing too much, because I obviously didn't do this, realize it didn't work, and then quick load, and then because if you do it on full speed, it just like flexes around and comes ridiculously, but it's just out of control. And this is on like 0.1 times speed, and you can already see there's a lot of flex. This is indeed at 4 times time accelerate because I had to kind of get it in the episode. But you can see there is a great deal of flex. Especially there, it kind of went inside the spaceship, which isn't ideal, if I'm honest, but it looks alright. I'm sure it would just be hammering that tank and probably destroying my spaceship. And annoyingly, that solar panel's slightly off-center, and that would drive me crazy. Probably not drive me crazy, it would probably slightly annoy me, and it would annoy me a little bit every time I look at it. But of course it is not actually an OCD thing, because I think that's something much worse than being annoyed by things that are off center. So yeah, I try to stay away from saying I have OCD when I'm like, ooh, I dropped something on the floor, that'll drive me crazy because I have OCD, because I don't. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.